Why, hello.
Hey there.
Happy Gaudete Sunday.
Indeed.
How long your beard is getting.
Yeah. Letting it grow. I want to see how long I can tolerate it. When it starts to hit the collar level as I turn my head, that's when it starts to be diminishing returns for me.
Yeah.
So gonna see how long I can go. I might keep it until the baby's born. I'll see. It'll be pretty long if I do that.
Yeah. I recall the last, I guess there's a word for it, like something that meters your output. Anyway, it used to be that masks. So you used to get bothered by masks at a certain level of beard.
Yeah, so I was working out and I had to put my beard in a little tie thingy because my beard was so poofy that the mask wouldn't stay on. It would ride up my face as I'm trying to work out.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. So that was the point. I said no more, and I cut it all off.
Yep, I recall that. It was like part of that decision was like the nuisance of the mask. So at least that's not happening.
No,
because you guys don't have to mask it.
No,
the dojo.
We do not.
Hooray.
Not until some jurisdiction says otherwise. But right now we do not. The health department says we are okay.
Well, we've had lots of respiratory and other viruses at our Montessori school.
Yeah.
And so either the owner of our school or the assigned public health worker to preschools, one of them is neurotic about germs and masking. So we've been on mandatory masks since Thanksgiving, and there's still a case of strep. So I just think that children are not going to ever wear a mask appropriately. So who knows? There's a lot of zealous public health people now.
Yeah, if masks were the silver bullet, then people wouldn't get sick, right?
True. Yes.
It's definitely not the silver bullet.
So at least you can wear a beard and not get it tangled up in a mask.
Yes.
It's getting to be a nice thick beard. That's the right adjective, right?
Yeah. So what do we about 2.5 months worth of growth? This point? And I haven't trimmed it too much yet. Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah.
You grow a nice beard. You're lucky.
Thank you.
I don't think every man can grow a beard like you can.
Well, I was thinking about it. It's like now's the time in my life when I can do it, so I might as well do it because the older you get, the thinner your beard face gets.
Oh, that's true.
So I've got like one scraggly spot just by nature of my face, but it'll infill right now and you don't notice it as much. But give it another 10 years and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess you'll see. Well, I'm Kit.
I'm Dale.
Welcome to Catholic Hitch. We are a Catholic family seeking heaven and hoping to pick up others along the way.
Small talk. So
you were gone last weekend.
Yes. It feels like it was just last weekend.
And it was.
It's been a busy week. So let's see. I don't know if we've talked about it before, have we?
I don't think we ever talked about it.
Okay. So at some point in time, we decided that when our children turn 10, they can choose a parent and choose a place within the lower 48 that they can go to for like a little mini one-on-one time with that parent. And so first time was Christina, and you went, and it was San Diego.
Yeah.
And
Coronado Island.
Right. And so apparently there's a theme with islands.
Well, and it's actually the state that they pick, and then we pick like the specific location.
Apparently you and I have a thing for islands.
I guess.
So Terrence picks me for his 10th, and it was New York. And so, of course, we go to Manhattan.
Of course.
Yeah. And we were supposed to tell him the night before, and we had been working to try to get ready because we assumed that, New York, Manhattan, there'd be like 4 feet of snow, and it'd be really flipping cold because the closest we've ever been to Manhattan is Michigan. And this time of year in Michigan is pretty cold and
lots
icy, and there's snow, and Yeah, so we were getting everything ready for that, and in the process had to get Christina boots as well because her feet are growing like she was related to a Yeti or something. I don't know. They're just
It's insane.
Yeah, so we go and get me boots, and it turns out that the boots that I buy, she's one size smaller than me, or not even that, a half size. She got a 9 and I got a 10.
Yeah, and
or
it's
10 and a half.
They're a little big. They're bigger than like a normal shoe size, but I think boots should be a little big because then you can wear them with socks.
Yeah, exactly. So
sock layers.
It's kind of crazy.
So we had a little bit of a flurry of preparation.
So had to get boots for her, had to get boots for Terrence because his don't fit because everybody's growing so fast, and we're at that point where nobody around us has hand-me-downs that are, in the 10 through whatever growing age. So now we're actually having to, get back into investing in our children's clothing.
Yeah.
Yay. So with shoes, this time of year, the thrift store, you cannot find those kind of shoes because everybody's already bought them. Boots, snow boots, and the like. So you go on an epic adventure, buy like 3 different pairs. Some of them don't fit. Some of them do fit. I think in the end, he's got 2 pairs. 1 pair that fits him right now, and then like 1 for next season that he'll grow into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then an epic coat adventure.
Oh my goodness. The coat saga.
Yeah. So you went, I don't know how many different places, back and forth, online, not online, to get the coat done. And now he has 2 coats. So there's kind of a theme here. We just get him bigger things that he'll grow into next year. And then, it'll hand down to Rosie and to Jonathan. So it'll work out. It's investing in the future.
Yeah. We just don't care all that much about gendered coats and shoes. Yeah. We try to get them sort of gender neutral, but
yeah. So for the trip, he ended up with a bright red hoodie puffer coat and a pair of black snowshoes. And he had a headache the night before, so we were planning to tell him at dinner. And then at dinner time, of course, he went straight to bed because he just wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, great. We have to get up first thing in the morning. Are we going
really
to
early.
make this trip? Are we good? So, yeah, like at 4 in the morning or something like that. Might have been earlier even.
No, we got up at 4.
Okay.
And we got him up at 5.
Yeah.
It may have even been like 4:30.
Yeah.
I woke up a little early because, it's hard to sleep when you're having to get up for like driving to the airport.
For you it is.
Yeah. For me it is.
So we got him up and told him, hey, it's time to go. Everything was ready to go for him.
Yeah, you packed for him.
Yeah, I got everything packed. And to my credit, it's the most compact I've ever traveled. So we had 2 backpacks and then 1 carry-on smaller bag that I normally use for overnights when I have to work.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a normal overhead compartment. Like it was half the size of a roll.
Yeah, it's like a
carry-on
toiletry bag that has an extra compartment to put stuff in it. That's basically it. So we had those 3 bags. And then I had brought an extra, like, I don't know, what do you call them? Like the little satchel type things that could roll up, a little canvasy one. So I threw that in there. And that was it. And off we went. Got there. So we were supposed to, what I thought, get there at like 9:40 in the morning. But Google, in its infinite wisdom, decides to put on my Google Calendar the time frame of, leaving at 6:30 and getting there at 9:40. So I had booked our time at the rink at Rockefeller Center for 12:30, thinking, oh, that gives me tons of time to get there, figure myself out, get to the hotel, put our bags away, and then just roam. Except that in actuality, we didn't get there until 11:30. Get on the Q70 bus from LaGuardia to go into Manhattan. And by the time we get to downtown Manhattan, I don't know, it's like 12:02, 12:03 or something like that. We were doing pretty good. Get to the hotel, it's like 12:25 by the time I found it. Get to the rink, and I'm thinking, great, it's 12:30. We're gonna we're gonna have plenty of time to, get in, get our boots, and go, because our appointment time is 12:30 to 1:30. But it takes us literally 25 minutes to figure out how in the hell do you get into the rink. So there's so many people at Rockefeller Center, and they're all taking pictures of the people skating down in the rink, and it's honestly, it wasn't that big of a ice rink. It's pretty small.
No, it has to be on a city block, so
yeah,
which is really tiny.
Yeah, but you see all the imagery of it, and it looks ginormous in every movie you've ever seen. Somehow they make it look huge, but it's not.
I think the only movie I can recall seeing it is maybe last year's TV series of Hawkeye. Wasn't that?
I don't know if I saw it in that.
Fight scenes.
It might have been
ice rink in New York.
It probably was. I'll have to watch it now.
We
that I
should
have a
watch
reference
it as a family.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that as a reference.
It's in New York. Yeah.
So I'm thinking of a lot of older movies, like 90s, when New York was like the place that everything would happen, and So, anyways, we get there, and it's kind of one of those things. If you don't know, you don't know. So us and a whole bunch of other people are going around the rink. You go under into Rockefeller Center, going around the rink where it's all glass, and there's signs that say rink this way, and they just kind of keep you going in a circle. And luckily there was an old grandma that was coming out of the exit from the rink, and I'm like, how do you get into this place? And she's like, oh, don't worry, it took us we did the same thing. So she takes us upstairs. You have to go around, and there's one security guard just standing there, not really doing anything. There's no sign that says enter here. There's no check-in, nothing. And we go up to that person and say, yeah, let me see your ticket. So you get out your phone, and then you go down the stairs that are at the center of the rink on the outside, and then that gets you to the inside. Yeah.
So really stressful.
About stress. Yeah.
Well, and you were stressed about, that time difference that you didn't realize when you made the booking. Like, that was a big stressor.
It was.
As far as making sure you guys get on the plane gets landed and taxied in time for you to get off, grab the bus, grab the subway, walk.
Yeah. But it all, in the end, it turned out really well.
Yeah.
Because anybody probably who's gone skating knows that the rental boots that they give you are the most painful things ever known to man. So 20 minutes of skating was just enough. I was literally to the point, like, I can't do this. I got to get out of here. And so Terrence kept going around and around. He was good. He fell down, I think, once, maybe twice. He did really well. He's actually really good on skates.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I totally bashed my knee when I taught him how to ice skate. I haven't taught Rosalina because of that.
Yeah, so
I'm a little afraid.
So yeah, it wasn't bad at all, doing it. And so we got done with that, and then we had time on our hands, right? Everything was good to go, and so our next step was we were gonna go to Rockefeller, to FAO Schwartz. So we get over there, and I was expecting, what you see again in the TV show, whatever the Magigorium Emporium thing, or you go to Home Alone 2 and the images that you see of it, it's nothing like that. It's like they added a second floor to it. It's crammed in, floor to floor is 13 feet at best with HVAC in between that. It's very tight. There's people inside the store who are selling the goods, and they make them look amazing, but it's all just junk stuff.
Aww.
Like, they had one guy, he was great using this toy, which is basically a flying saucer with a light on it that attaches to a string that's behind your ear, and it's dim in the area, so you really can't see the string. And so we almost bought the toy thinking, oh, that'll be cool, it's a nice magic trick toy. And then I was reading the reviews, and people were like, don't buy it. It's just a disc on a string. That's all it is. Literally. And it's $25 for a disc on a string. And then there was some, makeshift snow stuff. You add the water to it and it expands. And then, they had a little candy store space and some just random toys. But it was just not like quality stuff. It was very surprising, kind of shocking. And of course it's packed with people, because everybody wants to be at FAO Schwartz, apparently. And New York, I guess, this time of year, because it's, the holiday season, just about everywhere that you go, you're dealing with lines. Like it's like being at a theme park. Like everywhere,
to get in the store.
the Lego store, the M&M store, the restaurants, everywhere has a line.
Yeah.
It was very, very odd to think about. So we waited in a couple lines and we went around and it was fun. We got to see all the people waiting for the Rockettes show, which apparently is a big thing there. I don't know exactly what the Rockettes
I think
are,
Christmas
but
time it is.
yeah, it's like the one thing that everybody does. So they had the road shut down next to Rockefeller Center, and people were just standing in the street waiting in line to get into the Rockettes show. And we went by CBS Saturday Night Live. We could see like they have this big area you can go buy stuff in the first floor, and then Fox News has the largest banner possible to tell you about whatever they're going to talk about. Yeah, and we just kind of went around all through the different places, and the only thing we didn't really get to do, which you had on our bucket list, was to eat like authentic New York style pizza, because apparently you can't get that in Manhattan.
Oh.
Like there was none. There was no place that said New York style pizza. Like, you go to Chicago,
Yeah.
everywhere you go is like Chicago deep dish pizza all downtown. But in New York or in Manhattan, we couldn't find it. All we could find was Hell's Kitchen pizzas, or like this so-and-so Asian or Italian or Mexican Hell's Kitchen,
Oh,
so
interesting.
he's done his job, I guess, of, being as big as he is by basically franchising all these different places, saying, hey, their quality of food is good enough to have Gordon Ramsay on the label. And so there was a place that was right down the street from our hotel, but the pizzas were like, I don't know, 6x6 maybe, and they were $25 each.
Oof.
So, and they weren't like,
Oof.
it wasn't New York pizza. It was
Yeah.
gourmet pizza. So like, we just went to a grocery store that was down there, and they had a guy who was making pizzas, and they were sort of New York. They were bigger pizzas, but they still wasn't like, your crust is so much better when you make pizza. So yeah, so we did that, and we where else did we go? We went to Ellis Island, Staten Island. That was very fun.
That was the second day.
Yeah, that was day 2. And it was raining. Well, it was misting, I should say, with occasional rain. And Terrence was like, "It's raining so much." I'm like, "Son, it's not rain. It's misting. It's like barely a sprinkle." We had like maybe 5 minutes of real rain in that time.
Cool.
But it was odd because everything was so, I don't know, just warm. I was expecting ice, cold, sleeting, snow, but it really wasn't bad at all. And we were layered. So, it was kind of one of those things we weren't quite sure what we were going to get in to expect, but it was really nice. And we got to see the Statue of Liberty, and they have their museum that's on the island. They apparently redid it maybe a decade or so ago now. And they showed how they had to literally rebuild all the pieces of the statue. And they brought in craftsmen who knew how to do that from France to do the work, because it's like the only place that still has some people that know how to do that craft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like original style of doing it. So I don't really remember when we were in college in architecture school where we took the phone book and we folded it up into weird shapes, and then we had to do the point diagrams of it where you take the line across and you take the string and the point down, and you would measure it for X, Y, and Z axis.
like a topography or whatever.
Yes, that's what they did to recreate the statue from a scale, and then blow up the scale to the size of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Terrence got to stand next to the face of the Statue of Liberty and pick its nose, because what else would a boy do? So that was fun.
On the model.
On the model, yes.
Yeah, because you guys couldn't get in because it was already booked.
It was booked solid. I mean, a lot of things were booked ahead of time. I mean, that's why we were at the rink on Friday and not Saturday, because it was completely booked solid on Saturday.
And I think it worked as a first thing to do.
Yeah, it did.
It was really, it was a little tight for y'all, but I think that was a really fun way to begin.
Yeah, we went to the Lego store. The Lego store was very cool. Got a couple of Lego figurines. And we went to the M&M store. That was pretty neat. every one of these places, you can go up to a kiosk and they will make you signature toys or candies with basically a printer that they have in the back that tells you, if you choose this, they'll make you a custom little minifig, or they'll write your name on the M&Ms and you pay extra premium for that. So, sort of modern tech that we have these days. They did have, at the Lego store, you could go get your picture taken and they would make your own,
minifig?
No, it was like this bossed figure, like a 13 by 13 plate. And it would be like a puzzle, that they would have in emboss of shadow that would make your face for like $165.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I was like, that's a little expensive, but that's cool.
It's tempting.
It was tempting. It was tempting.
And you guys made it to Central Park.
We did. We made it to Central Park. We did the obligatory picture in front of the, is it the Ritz, or I'm not sure, the hotel, the one that Kevin stays at in Home Alone 2. And as we were taking the picture, there's the horses with the carriages that are going by, and you hear like the music from Home Alone 2 is playing like everywhere, because that's what people are like, oh, it's the place that Kevin was at. So we took our picture there.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure that place hates
that. I'm sure. And then we went into Central Park. We went to Central Park Zoo, which of course is, where supposedly the animals escaped from Madagascar. Just didn't realize that.
Oh, nice.
It's tiny. It's a tiny, tiny zoo.
Makes sense. Central Park.
Yeah. We went to a petting zoo portion of it, not realizing like it was just a petting zoo. And we got through and we're like, this can't be the entire zoo. Luckily, because the tickets were like $35.
Yeah.
And then we found the rest of the zoo down the way a little bit. So it kind of all worked out. They had seals and some smaller primates, and there were some snow leopards. That was unique.
Nice.
Yeah, the snow leopards were meowing very loudly.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so we did all that, and 30,000 steps a day, which was intense. I still have like calluses and sores on my feet because I had work boots on. I was not I should have had a pair of sneakers, but you'd think you'd just go buy a pair of sneakers, but then I'm in downtown New York and I'm not paying for, I don't even like, thrift store sneakers are expensive to me. Like, I'm splurging when I go to Target and I buy like the cheapest pair of Skechers sneakers for like $25. That's expensive.
Yeah, I think you can't find anything in Manhattan for cheap.
And like when you think of the, you go there and you get the knockoff purses and stuff. So you would think it'd be like this nice table and they'd be all laid out. No, it's just this giant pile. Like these guys would come up and they'd just toss them in a pile and be like, hey, someone need a purse? And ladies were coming up and they're looking for, the knockoff Gucci's and things. But it's literally just this giant pile.
That's something I totally would have done if he had picked me.
Yeah.
I would have definitely bought a knockoff purse just for the experience of it.
Yeah. It was like there was a trash bag on the
floor. Probably be nicer than any of my actual purses.
Probably. I don't know. It would probably be expensive, more expensive than any of your other purses. But yeah, so
it's just such a classic element of New York.
Yeah.
Getting your knockoff stuff.
Yeah. We sat at the end of the first day and had some falafel, and we were sitting in the sun, and it was that realization that we're not in Colorado because the sun doesn't warm you. It's just there and it's light, but it is not warm at all.
Oh.
Like it was, everything's just the constant cold, but it wasn't too cold. So yeah, he had a good time. I still have to let you see the videos of the subway. I intentionally videos of when the subway train comes down the tunnel.
I haven't seen any of your pictures aside from the few that you sent me.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping you took more than the ones you sent me by text.
I took a lot of
Okay.
I tried to do a documentary of Terrence. So
good.
Almost every picture has Terrence in it in some way, shape, or form.
Cool. Because I'll put a book together for him like I did with Christina.
Yeah.
For the memories. And it's funny, I've been getting reminders of Christina's trip when I took her and looking at her size and the way her face is.
Oh man.
It reminds me a lot of Terrence right now.
Yeah.
And then like thinking of how much Christina has changed since then, it just is like, oh my gosh, the next 3 years are going to be incredible for his growth.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. By the time that Rosalina gets ready for her 10-year trip, Terrence might be shaving.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It's hard for me to fathom. I mean, he has a different.
He does.
I don't think he's gonna
He
have
does.
your glorious beard capabilities. I don't think it's.
I don't know. Well, we shall see. I don't think he's gonna have a little Mexican mustache. Johnny will.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Jonathan will definitely inherit from you.
Yeah.
All the facial hair,
we'll see.
hairiness.
I think he's gonna be able to make a pretty good beard when he's older. But he has the potential. He will have scraggly peach fuzz.
Oh my goodness.
In like 2.5 more years from where he is now.
Huh.
So
I mean, we do this trip like for a particular reason, which I guess we can talk about in Big Talk.
yeah.
So, why do we do these trips?
I would think one, it is that kind of special moment that we can spend time with our kids individually when they are not aliens just yet. They haven't turned into crazy teenagers that don't want to be with us.
Yeah.
That's probably the main things in my mind. And two, just to kind of give them kind of that major memory. I mean, it's a big deal when you go a place and you just have time and you're not.
And it was your choice.
Yeah, it was your choice. So hopefully I didn't scar him too much with my grumpy old man Sanders. We'll see if that's the case or not, because I tried to explain a lot while we were there. Like you go into Times Square in that area and there are strip clubs and gentlemen's clubs and other people's clubs. He's looking at him going, what is that? So we have to have the conversation. I don't think you probably had to have that in San Diego.
No.
So you're welcome.
Yeah. I guess that's true. I wouldn't, if he had picked me, that would have been my awkward conversation to have. Although you've been kind of talking with him about stuff.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
But like if we went to Denver, downtown Denver, yeah, there's a few of those around, but there's a lot more in New York. And it's not just like what we grew up with of, there's a place that women are, objectified. This is a place where men and women are objectified and other crazy things are happening. So it's pretty, I wasn't ready for that, but we had a good conversation for like 10, 15 minutes about it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but there were those kind of things I had to explain, and there was no pot. There was one pot shop in all of Manhattan.
That's so strange.
So
compared to downtown Denver.
Oh, the air was so fresh. It was so amazing.
Wasn't skunk everywhere?
It didn't smell like a skunk every 2
goodness.
seconds. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Right?
Well, and I definitely, of our duo, I'm more of the city person. So I was a little bit, it was good and right and just that he picked his dad. And they always can pick whoever. And I told Rosie and Johnny, they don't have to pick. Like, Rosie doesn't have to pick me because she's a girl. Like, she can pick you. And Johnny, of course, said, I'm going to pick you, Mommy. I mean, he's 5, so.
He probably will pick you.
He might. He's a mama's boy. Pretty hardcore. But it is, like, this particular moment in their life when they're big enough to have those, like, deeper conversations, to have some, like, agency in their decisions around, like, what do they want to do? What do they think about this or that? And then having that time with a parent, I think, is really cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the stuff that Christina and I did on her 10-year trip is very different. So yeah, we rented a boogie board and a wetsuit for her to be able to go boogie boarding in for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. And that was just, she had a blast. She wore herself out. And we went and got our nails done together. And we went by a candy store and got a bunch of candy and went back to the hotel and
very different
vegged out. Yeah, it's a different experience. It was different parts of the country.
Yeah.
But our objective was the beach. So it made it like a lot simpler versus you went to a place where there are so many things to see. Like you could never possibly see everything in a weekend trip.
Oh, we barely.
And so you packed it in as much as you could.
Scratched the surface. Yeah.
But it's to have, that core, hopefully, memory for our children to be able to have with their parent. No.
Not right now.
Not right now.
What?
We're podcasting and not right now.
Yeah, go back downstairs. Man, that kid is just getting bolder and bolder. He used to be shy about coming up while we were doing
Oh,
this.
did you see that?
Oh, they sent him.
He was the tribute.
Yeah, they're very sneaky that way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's been successful so far, and you're gonna make a little booklet for him on.
Yeah, once I have the
this little
photos,
trip.
I'll put together
Yeah.
a little book. And yeah, so the idea is that the kids know now, like Christina, it was a new experience for the family but on their 10th birthday, they announce a state and a parent, and then in the next year before they turn 11, we make a weekend trip happen.
Yeah.
And it's funny because with Christina, she's an October birthday. And I think I was more particular about her not missing school. And I was not that particular about Terrence not missing school this year. So he missed a day of school. That's okay.
Yeah. That was before other things in our life happened.
Yeah.
And COVID.
Yeah, I just...
Where we realized that school is a public school, at least. Yeah, you don't learn anything. It's a waste. It's a daycare. I'm sorry.
It kind of is.
It is.
I'm looking forward to like Terrence doing homeschool in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because I think it's gonna be really good for him.
Yeah.
But so he missed a day of school. With Christina, I was more careful to try to find a time when she wouldn't be missing school, and I also tried to find a time when it would be cold here and not cold in California for like that difference. And so what ended up happening was we didn't do her 10-year trip until the week before her 11th birthday.
That's true.
And she kept asking or kind of hinting about it all summer, the whole year. And she kept waiting. And then she stopped asking about it for the last month because I think she thought it was not going to happen. But it was really fun. It was 18 degrees here in Colorado. We were in like a super cold front when we left on the plane, and we dashed. You dropped us on the curb. We left our coats with you, aside from just like a light coat, and got on the plane, and it was 70 degrees in California.
Yeah, we got lucky in New York because I think that following Monday they were expecting some major weather, and I think by the end of this week they got a pretty good snowstorm. Yeah,
I was blessed.
Yeah, and it was odd. It's so green there. Like it felt like autumn. The trees were colored and there's leaves still on them, and it was very strange. It was like going into a time capsule compared to here where everything's yellow already and there's no trees, there's no leaves on the trees, and everything's dry, and we're like begging for snow. Please bring us snow.
Yeah.
So it was so different. And like Terrence kept on commenting on it. It's like, it's so green and so wet here. Why is it raining again? I'm like, well, son, they get 40 inches of rain here a year. So that means it's basically like at least once or twice a week it rains. Whoa.
Yeah.
It was very odd for him to think about. So I guess we got to learn that lesson as well.
Climate difference.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that it was good. I think he came back excited. There's kind of like a little bit of pride about being able to take your 10-year trip. Mm-hmm. And so, next up is Rosie.
Yeah.
And we picked 10 years because I think I heard about this idea. I want to say on the Jennifer Fulwiler show when she was still on the air. I think she had a guest who did this kind of thing, and I think Christina was 8. And I was like, this is a really good idea. And I told you about it, and you thought it was a good idea. Mm-hmm. So we had some time to like plan and make it a 10-year thing. But I mean, age 10 is a little arbitrary. It's like basically trying to get a kid who's big enough to be able to do a trip like this without being like a little child that you're having to watch over.
Yeah.
But not so big that they don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
And that's going to probably be different for every child a little bit. Because Christina is definitely a teenager now, and I think she would still have had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Going and doing something like this with us.
Yeah, but it was the unknown of like, okay, what are they going to be like when they're 14?
Yeah,
like,
and it could be different with all of them.
It's been okay, but others, like we look at other 14-year-olds right now, and they're like, I don't want to talk to my parent. Why would I do that? That's weird.
Yeah, I want to smack those 14-year-olds.
Yeah. So, I know. So, I think 10 is a good age range. And
12 would probably be okay too.
And honestly, being downtown Manhattan, there's just so many people, and Terrence is slow. He's got his father's one speed. I'm just gonna say,
one
and I'm
speed.
like, Terrence, we need to go. We need to move. we got to hurry, because we're trying to catch a train at a certain time, and we have to walk everywhere. And it's not like, there's a station. It's no. There's the state. You want to go uptown, you go on this block. You want to go downtown, you got to go 2 blocks over on this way. And then half of them are under construction. And yeah, so I'm like holding him by the back of the neck. I'm like, we have to go. Nope, hold, and pull him when, it's like a stop sign or a stop, no walking sign, and trying to go. And people just, it's everywhere. There's just so many people. And yeah, so it was nice to hit Central Park and you could breathe a little bit. I'm like, hey, I don't have to hold him by the back of the neck. We have plenty of time. I can walk at his pace here. Yay.
That's nice.
Yeah, hit the little park area, like one of the little pocket parks where there was a playground, and just let him go.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was fun. It was good. We'll see what Rosalina wants to do.
Yep.
In a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any thoughts about the 10-year trip idea, or if you've done anything similar and want to share with us, you can reach us anytime at catholichitch@gmail.com.
May the Lord guide and protect our journey.
Amen. It's direct, I think, but
it is. It is direct. You're right.
I thought by your face you probably knew.
Oh, I know. My head hurts.